Hey everybody, welcome in or welcome back to the channel. This is Miss Tarot, and today we have a what do I need to hear general reading, just to see if there's any messages that need to come specifically in for you. Just a very general reading that can be any number of messages. And we're going to do a pick a card system this time, just so that you know that whatever you chose is, or what you were drawn to, is the messages that you meant to hear, instead of one big reading that can apply to more of a general collective. We're going to try and narrow it down and get it a little bit more specific. I am recording today with my windows open. It's a beautiful, sunny, gorgeous day, but there's been a little bit of traffic, like Amazon trucks and things like that going through. So if it gets loud, I apologize. Also, the dogs are kind of pitter-pattering around. I can never make it fully silent, so I apologize in advance, okay? But in front of you, we have 3 cards, and this is the Soul's Journey Oracle deck that we're going to be using today. So pile 1, you have the raw citrine point. Pile 2, you have the clear quartz raw point. And for pile 3, you have this beautiful smoky quartz point. So take a moment to see which pile or stone speaks to you, and then I will see you at your reading. Hey there, pile 1. If you chose the citrine point, beautiful little raw citrine, this will be your reading for what you need to know right now. And like I mentioned in the intro, we are going to use the Soul's Journey Oracle deck and the good old Rider-Waite. And for additional clarification, I might pull out my Everyday Witch Tarot, but then we'll follow it up with angel messages. Okay, so for you, my lovely pile 1s, my lovely citrine folks, let's see what your overall theme and energy is. We have fear. I recognize or realize, I apologize, now I'm wordsmithing here. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. That seems oddly specific for some of you. You know, if I don't want to get too deep before like the cocktail hour, but the outcome of all choices in life is determined, in my view, by 2 emotions, fear and love. And you know, our souls are made up of energy and love, and I think that fear is something that is more of an earthly manifestation to a particular challenge, right? And fear, in its many roles, is kind of that obstacle sometimes that your soul uses to test itself, to stay on track. Human life is very difficult, but kind of acknowledging that your soul's true nature is love, and that's the frequency that we should all be operating on. This is kind of always will be somewhat helpful to you, to help you on your path. So, you know, if there's something that you are fearful of right now, or when fear just kind of pops out of nowhere and really kind of takes hold, it's kind of an opportunity for you to stand very boldly and kind of lock eyes with it and turn that fear or doubt into trust. So in a sense, kind of look at it as a lesson or a teacher. You know, what are you trying to learn from these emotions? And the more you use that love energy to dispel those fearful situations, the less often I feel that they will present themselves. But, you know, these are my own personal little beliefs, obviously. But basically, I believe the message here is to align yourself with trust and love and light, because as so many people, or so many times I've heard this, as well as something I very much believe deeply in, is, you know, the law of attraction and the fact that like attracts like. So if you are living in a frequency of lack, kind of like a lack mentality, or if you are living in the frequency of fear, that's what you're gonna constantly get. So I think this is kind of, oh, there goes my candle. Always with the cards flapping, to raise your vibrations, I think. But let's get into the tarot a little bit more and see if we can, I'm going to light that candle again because I am stubborn. Thank you. All right, let's see. Tell us a little bit more about the fear. Maybe give us the past. Okay, that definitely wants to come out. I see it. Give us the past. What's moving behind us? Anything else? Okay. So this is going to be kind of the situation that's moving out of the past. And let's see what we got here. Okay, so some deception, some strategy. I might scooch some of these things over and, excuse me, little everyday witch. Ah. Okay, here we go. You know what? We're doing this because I really think that these kind of belong together. Okay. Ooh, there's a nice breeze coming in. I might lose my candle again. No, please don't. Okay. Let's see here. So in keeping in mind what we were just talking about, fear, is I think, there goes the candle. I'm not doing it again because, and if you can't hear the really cool clunking of the bamboo wind chimes outside, maybe that'll be better than the candle. Okay, so keeping in mind the fear aspect of this overall energy that is kind of in this need to know basis right now, is I think that you're really struggling to trust. I think that there may be some really amazing opportunities or events that have kind of come your way that you have missed out on because you are fearful of what may happen, or just fearful that things might not go a certain way. You might be somebody with a lot of anxiety and kind of have a little bit of overthinking. We all do it. But I do think for the pile ones here, if this kind of overall energy of overthinking and being really kind of stuck in your own brain and spiraling into the what ifs type scenarios is something that resonates with you, this is absolutely your reading. But what I don't think you trust yourself. I don't think you trust others. I think you just have a general sense of what if this fails. Kind of, I can't remember where I read this, but it was in like a children's book back in the day, and it was kind of like, if you don't try, not only do you not succeed, but on the upside is that, your worst fears won't come true more often than not. I think it was Winnie the Pooh, and you know what, I'm paraphrasing, but that's the general sense, was just being, nothing is going to happen to you. Nothing's going to come to you, not even good things, if you are living in that fear mentality and you don't trust anything that's coming your way. I see, especially with like the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Cups here, that you have probably missed out on some really awesome occasions with people, just because maybe you have a fearful of a deep fear of social situations, and don't like to put yourself out there. I also think that there might be a distrust of relationships, because you don't trust the good things when they do come, because you've been burned so much in the past. I get the sense that there's a little bit of like deceit here with somebody who may have taken advantage of you. You've tried going out there and spreading your wings, but you got shot down so damn hard, excuse my French, that it kind of clipped your wings in a sense, where you don't want to, take off and try and fly again. And that's absolutely valid. But at the same time, I think there's a part of you that wishes that you could be somebody who is more adventurous, that somebody who could go out there and and do these things that your soul is daring you to do. I think that I would not be surprised if like we get strength card coming out of this somewhere, because I really feel very intently that there's whoever needs to hear this is very much needing some courage and some strength, some inner strength, and kind of trusting your own gut and soul, and just not living dangerously, but just needing to live a little bit more adventurously, because that's what's going to make you happy. That's what's going to make your soul happy. You're obviously yearning to do this, but something is really tying your hands. So if we see the devil card or the strength card come out, holy moly. That's what I'm saying right now. So I'm going to put these up here for right now. And let's get a few more cards, because I really want to see what you need to hear right now in order to get through this, overcome this, and maybe set things to right. And of course, you know, this kind of stuff doesn't happen overnight. So what can this person need to overcome this? All right, so what we're looking at overcoming. Okay, we need to get out of a lack mentality. You do have support. I wonder how where that support lies. I also kind of think that, especially with the Five of Swords here, how do I want to say this? I think that it's more of an advice to maybe warning you that always thinking that there's somebody out there that's not looking out for your best interests, or somebody that has that level of deception, because we had that with the other Swords card as well. There's a bit of being so caught up in the obsession that nothing good is going to happen to you, that again, it's always going to be coming your way. I think that was just more clarification, so I'm going to see if we can get some advice, please, and thank you. It was more of like a double message in my opinion, but let's see. And I might bust out the Witch Tarot. What can we... Okay. King of Swords. Let's see what the Everyday Witch has to say about this, because... I'm only going to do that once. What can you tell us about this? We need the advice. Those are trying. Not much to say, really. And I do feel like that one wanted to come, but might have been holding on too tight. It's funny that we got the Three of Cups. The very people that are trying to get you to come out and open your shell are the very people that you're going to be able to rely on in order to get this strength. I also see the Ten of Cups here, which is crazy. And then we also have the Lovers, making a conscious decision, and relationships and partnerships, being able to choose relationships and building those relationships and bonding and trust over the fear. And what I kind of see here is, like I said, the very people who are trying to pull you out of your shell are the very people that are going to help you. Those people are your safe space. So if you don't trust everybody out in the world, which is totally fine, if you have a huge amount of people that you don't trust and that you don't want to put yourself out there in a safe way, there is a group of people that you do know really well, who you do feel safe with, that you should just kind of dip your toe in the water when it comes to that. These people are your safe space. And I don't know if this is a good solid friend group. I just got the sense that maybe some of you have people that you grew up with that know you better and know your quirks and your weirdness, way better than anybody else in the world does, and they still obviously love you, crazy things and all, those are your safe spots. And if there's somebody within that friend group that's saying, come on, just come out with me and let's do this or let's do that, and they're going to hold your hand the whole way. They know how difficult this is for you. Sadie, don't start. They know how difficult this is for you, but they just really want you to experience the joy that they experience and know that this would be amazingly good for you. And they're trying to break through that shell politely, respectfully, and with love. So I do get the sense that, Sadie, stop it. No. God. That this is really going to lead you into a lot more breakthrough to happiness and kind of, like I said, dipping your toe in the water and realizing, you know what, it's not so bad. Let's go ahead and, maybe stick my whole foot in the water and then my leg and then, maybe up to my waist, kind of easing yourself into this, pool, if you know what I mean. So I think with the King of Swords here is what I will say is I think this is more representative of you and needing to make a conscious decision to feel safe in that relationship space and use you seem like such a sharp, intellectually just like crazy intelligent person. And I think that also kind of contributes to the overthinking because you are so smart. It kind of reminds me of like a chess player where they can see like 9-10 moves ahead. But, I think with you, not every single chess move is based in reality. I think it's clouded by a lot of fear. I think you're being told to really act with a lot of strength and remove your emotional self out of it. The King of Swords is somebody who's very good at keeping their mind in check. They're very, they act with integrity. They're very intelligent. This person, it represents a lot of strength. So minor arcana level of strength. We did not get the strength card so far, but hey, we still might. But I think this is kind of who you are meant to embody. And in terms of the king, I would probably say that the biggest takeaway for you is going to be that, he also can represent like maybe a strong male figure, but somebody who's not like emotionally involved with you. So maybe part of your friend group has a mentor who teaches, but doesn't make that kind of like deeper connection. But you definitely someone who supports you, and they're asking you to embody this in the way that it's like logic and reason. And there is somebody that you are friends with or that you have, a close connection with who kind of embodies those traits. And how does that person, is sometimes like I would probably think that you would think that when you look at this person, it's like, wow, you are so cold and calculating. How can you be that way when you are so more on the emotional side of the spectrum? I think this is more, you need to kind of look at this and balance it out a little bit and be a little bit more balanced in terms of logic and reason versus giving into your fears. So there's just a couple ways that you can interpret it. Let's get a little bit more on terms of what else you can do to support yourself and to take, more of a leap of faith, I guess. And then we'll get some angel messages to wrap it up, okay? Okay, any final messages? Wow, it just wanted those 4. And, okay, well, we're going to do that one too. All right. So we got the 6 of Swords as a repeating card. And then let's see here. We have the 3 of Swords. Okay. We have the 3 of Wands. I'm just going to throw them everywhere because it really... 3 of Wands. Let's just do that. How about that? It has to be symmetrical. The Nine of Wands, okay. And then the Two of Wands, which we had earlier. Actually, I'm sorry, we had the Three of Wands. So, all right. So what are we doing here? We got a lot of wands, okay? And, you know, wands are passion and creativity and our actions, where, you know, swords are kind of our thoughts and that sort of thing. I think what you are being asked to do is to broaden your horizons, number one. And that's really going to kind of help you let go of the fear by taking these baby steps, right? So I think with the Two of Wands here, it's kind of, that's baby step number one, right? Is recognizing that there are opportunities out there, and that being willing to kind of broaden your horizons in a very small way first to kind of ease your way into things. Because we did have the Page of Swords here as well, and that kind of is you basically trying to start from scratch and really navigate that mental space on your own in a very practical, I can do this, but I'm such a novice type of way. The Three of Swords is letting you know, along with the Six of Swords, I think that these two cards, especially partnered together, all of these is telling you to kind of leave this mentality behind, okay? And the easiest way to do that, and it's funny that there is a little journal right there, and I was really called to see that, because I think that a way for you to kind of express your fears and get them out of your brain in a very reasonable way is to kind of put pen to paper, or even type. They have online journals and things like that. If you know, if you're new school like me and like would rather type a million words a minute rather than cramp your hand up writing. Anyways, I think that is a very easy way for you to acknowledge your fears and then kind of let it go. And another ritual, if you're into those things, that has been always like very helpful, especially for me, that I learned, was to kind of put, if you want to put that on pen and paper, and then put it in like a little fire safe kind of bowl, burn the ashes and release it to the wind. It's kind of like it's like a purge, and it's a letting go and kind of erasing of that burden, if you want to take it that way. So what I will say on this side of the board, with the Two of Wands, the Nine of Wands, and then, you know, we had the Three of Wands here, is kind of the outcome slash advice in the same way, right? So how do I want to say this? I think with the first thing, let's just talk about maybe the Two of Wands, right? It's about contemplating your options, and, you know, sooner or later you're going to have to choose one, and what direction is pulling you more strongly, right? There is like a choice that we talked about, and being able to leave the lack mentality behind and really embody more of the logic and reason and adventurousness. It's kind of, you know, like I said, just taking that leap of faith, right? And with the Nine of Wands and the Three of Wands here, the Three of Wands is literally the next one, letting you know that that kind of heart work, I mean, that might very well be true too. Heart work and hard work is going to pay off. This is not, you know, a time to take your eyes, you know, off the prize. Once you kind of put one foot in front of the other and stay on this path and this journey and work on this particular goal, the Three of Wands is an excellent indication that you're going to achieve it. You know, so, you know, the problem with being so focused on a particular thing is that it can lead to missing things right in front of you. So you really, really, really got to leave that fear and lack mentality in the past. Okay. Now with the Nine of Wands, it is kind of letting you know that, hey, you've been through a lot of shiz, okay? This is a card that clearly states that you have been through some, all right? and that you had a particularly rough time. But it's here to say that you may be battered and bruised. It's reminding you that you have survived this, and you're going to fight another day, or maybe you're not even going to have to fight at all. And here, that's it. You're done. Life has a lot of battles, large and small. And I think either your higher self or whoever you think is coming through in this reading to give you these messages is acknowledging what you've been through. Okay. But I think also is letting you try and decide which battles you're going to fight, right? So some things you consider, especially with life being full of battles, large and small, is to choose which ones you're going to fight, right? Are you going to use all your energy on these issues that, if you are really not going to matter, weeks, even months down the road? Are you going to fight the same battle over and over and over again? There's no dishonor in walking away from this horrible fight that you've been fighting for this whole time. You just need to leave all that fear in the past and just be like, I'm done battling you. I'm moving forward. Okay. You are tougher than you think. And I think that's evident in a lot of this reading, actually. So with that, let's get a couple final messages from your angels. These are angel number messages. If you've been seeing these numbers repeating, we have a lot of threes here. Threes in this are about growth and expansion. So, you have 3 of cups, 3 of swords, 3 of wands, 3 of cups twice, 3 of cups twice. You have a ton of threes here. So if you start seeing 333, I would pay attention. If you start seeing those repeating numbers, especially during a period of time where you're overthinking or you are not sure what to do, kind of take that as a strength kind of hug from your spiritual team or your guides to just being like, hey, you are on a period of growth and development and we got you. Okay. Just felt the need to throw that out there. All right. What messages do you have for pile 1? Well, you know what? You didn't want to come out. I'm just going to have to see. Are you guys just being very, very, very stubborn today? I am brave. Yes, you are. I knew it. It just wanted to get the right cards. All right, here we go. It says, I am brave. It is the time to move on from the old patterns, habits, and fears. Now is the time to walk in the direction of your biggest desires and ambitions. Now is the time to be bold and brave. And the theme is I am brave. And if that is not confirmation of every single message that I took out of this reading, I don't know what is. It gives me goosebumps when that happens. I love confirmations. I am wise. Yes, you are. Because those who have been through some shiz, especially with like the 9 of Wands type of energy, are very wise. Your love for others is powerful, and you are able to spread your gift of support far and wide. You're curious, and your social nature brings you in contact with a variety of people, all of whom would benefit from a very warm, heartfelt word of wisdom. So very good. And then we have 1. You are a self-starter with a very innovative way of creating opportunity. Your determination and endurance are powerful and will help you get through rough times and reach success. So those are some reminders and messages from your spiritual team. Pile 1, I hope this reading resonated with you. If you would take a moment to like the video, consider subscribing or following me. I'm on YouTube and Rumble. And of course, leave me a comment down below if any of this resonated with you, or even if you have any questions, because I would love to see how this plays out for you. But that is all the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you at your next reading. Take care. Bye. Go. Hey, everybody. Welcome in to Pile 2's reading. If you happen to choose the big, chunky, clear quartz point boy, this will be your reading. And like I said in the intro, unless you skipped it, this is going to be a what I need to hear right now. So there's no overall theme for this reading. We're just going to see what comes out. Okay. And I should say that we are using the Life's Journey Oracle. We are going to use the good old Rider-Waite, the Everyday Witch Tarot for clarification, and then we'll follow up with some angel messages. Okay. All right. So abundance. Here we go. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So that one's pretty straightforward. And not much to, what do I want to say? How do you say extrapolate on? Abundance, and this is the very first card in this deck, just so you know. So think of it as like number one, and it is manifesting, right? Number one is, the number ones are all about manifestation. So anyways, just kind of remember with this one, I get this very lighthearted energy with this particular group, but you know, allow yourself to have fun when manifesting, because what you want in life is limitless, and you know, enjoying the process is also a very crucial, important part to it, right? And this was kind of a theme in the last one too, but I think you're being encouraged here to kind of keep embracing that positive mindset, because you are someone who may realize that your thoughts create your reality. But you know, everybody struggles at times to stay in that positive light. So I think this is just kind of an affirmation for you, because I get the feeling that you're a very positive person anyway, especially, you know what, because of the clear quartz, I really do think that there's this level of kind of like innocence and just open mind, open heart type feeling with you, pile two. So let's see. Let's see what messages it has for you. I don't want my candle to go out. I'm recording with my window open today, so you may hear chimes, you may hear cars, you may hear birds. It's kind of nice. It's a beautiful day. Okay, here we go. What can we tell pile two? What is in the recent past? Oh, yeah. Okay. Wow. Holy guacamole. What is happening, pile two? Or, yeah, two. This is all your recent past. So let's take a look here. All right. Let's see. I have this over here. I know this is going over here. You got 3 major arcana popping out. That is pretty crazy. I actually feel like this is what's happening / happened. Okay, here we go. All right, pile two, you, wow, you've kind of been through a hot, you know, kind of like a hot situation, haven't you? This is all in your kind of recent past. Actually, I take that back. I get the sense that this is probably within a year or more, and you've taken the move to step forward, and you've actually kind of pulled yourself from the flames, but at the same time, it's still kind of there, right? Something significant happened to you that kind of broke your heart in a sense. I know exactly what you mean when it comes to stuff like this. I went through my own, huge, massive tower heartbreak moment this last fall, and it's jarring, and it takes a while for you to heal and get back on track and on your feet. You know what I mean? But there were some serious lessons that you learned, and you did take the proper steps because you are a strong individual. I can already tell, in the way that you decided to make that conscious effort to walk away. You walked away from the things that were not serving you anymore. You walked away from this heartache and from the things that caused this, thank you, truck, caused this tower moment and heartache to occur. You're leaving all that in the past. That's fabulous. You don't need to dwell on that anymore. You're moving forward. Something that probably really helped you was that you have this amazing, I'm going to put this over here because that's just what it is. You have this amazing sense and belief and this faith that good things are bound to come. I think that if there was a wheel out here, it would be absolutely amazing. But, you know, we have temperance and we have the world. And, you know, the world is like the completion of a particular cycle and pretty much saying, you know, you are not alone in this journey. But you've completed this, and you are now kind of in this rebalancing act of alchemizing whatever this is that happened into a positive experience and to move forward with a really good life lesson. That's kind of what I'm seeing for the recent past. Let's see what the current messages are. I think there was, especially with talking about the recent past, it kind of leads up into being able to just kind of add context to whatever advice and more messages that come out in this part of the reading. So, all right, what can you tell us about the current situation, and what do you need to tell this pile to? Okay. Anything else? Yep, you are a strong person, aren't you? Okay. So, we got strength. We got the Three of Cups, or I'm sorry, Three of Pentacles. Blech, I saw cups. We have the Two of Pentacles. We have the Five of Cups. I apologize. Apparently I cannot read today. Yeah, I'm not surprised we saw that. We have the Ten of Wands, and then we have, this is going to be very asymmetrical, and this is going to irritate me, but it is what it is. And then we have the Page of Wands. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at all of this. All right, so whatever was happening with this Tower moment and the period of growth that you achieved through going through this fire and brimstone is still weighing on you. This is a burden that you need to absolutely release. And we talked about this in the very beginning of this reading when we were talking about, you know, it's decently in your past. It's not far enough into your past to where you've absolutely let it go, but it's still there. And it's something that you obviously still have to let go. You need to really harmonize and balance what happened in the past and make sure it doesn't affect your manifesting and your abundant future that's coming ahead, okay? Because what we're seeing here with the Five of Cups and the Ten of Wands is that you have not released that burden. You are still in an emotional way to where you're kind of focused on this past issue and saying, not living in a pity party, because that is not you. The Strength and the Page of Wands here, that is clearly not you. But I think you are so kind of still focused, just like 3/4 of the way forward, that 25% of you is still kind of stuck on this, and you can't really see what's in front of you right now because maybe you're just not fully in the present, if that makes sense. I don't know if I explained that right. Basically, in a nutshell, I think that you are too focused on what happened in the past, and there still is a burden of sadness or feelings there that is going to have to be lifted in order for you to move forward, okay? Something that is pretty apparent here is that that's obviously continued strength is going to be a feature here. Really kind of taming that beast and making sure that it doesn't rear its ugly head and make you second guess everything, because the Page of Wands is somebody who's trying to kind of, you know, bust out of his I don't want to call it a shell, because he is a very creative and outgoing type of personality, but I would probably say that he's still a baby. He's still a novice, right? But when it comes to the Page, I think that it's more about feeling intimidating to start this new path. But there is going to be a lot of inspiration and passion that's going to help you take that first step. The Pages are usually, you know, people who are in kind of need of help and guidance along the way. Quiet over there. But it doesn't, and probably not as powerful in the way like a king or queen or even a knight could be, but that doesn't mean they're not important here. The Page of Wands is that eagerness and enthusiasm, and I know you want to leave this behind and just absolutely say sayonara, I'm moving forward. But at the time right now, I think it's just looking at the paths in front of you, because I do think that there's more than one, and giving yourself the time to decipher what that is. We have the Two of Pentacles here, which is kind of talks about juggling. It can also be not really the I don't know, but it's kind of like, do I rest? Do I move forward? It's making sure that everything has like a time and place. So when this card shows up, it reminds us that we need to focus a little bit more on balance. And we have that with the Temperance card here too. Are kind of like, think of it like, am I working too much? Am I playing too much? It's like, am I more focused on this? Because I think yes, the burden's still here. Am I focusing too more on what happened in the past that's keeping me from moving forward? On the other hand, it can be a reminder to cut yourself a little slack. Nobody's gonna have it figured out all at once. Again, with the Page of Wands here, there's a lot of eagerness and a lot of excitement to kind of move forward, but you really can't be impulsive about this. You're going to have to give yourself a little bit of time. And with the Three of Pentacles here following it, I really do think that with this particular card, it has to do with finding your support network. And being involved with others in a way that requires cooperation is really going to be a good thing to appreciate. What are you doing to kind of rely on or recognize that you have resources out there that can help pull you forward out of this? Because there's a very specific trajectory here that couldn't be more apparent. You're like going from 0 to 20, right? It's like this is level 1, and then releasing, and then realizing that you're strong and you can move forward, and then the act of actually moving forward, but being kind of hesitant and giving yourself some grace and relying on people. It's all flowing in the right direction. But definitely, if there's somebody who you trust and have close with you that you can collaborate with on how best to move forward, or to kind of choose which path that you want to go on, definitely, seek that person out to kind of give you a little bit of advice. Nobody says you have to take it, but there might be aspects of certain options that are there that you might not see clearly, like the whole path or is not yet quite revealed. You know what? I'm going to go to the witch. Let's go to the everyday witch. Okay, so that's cool. Now we can get some advice, yeah? Although I do feel like this was a decent chunk of advice. But let's see if there's any other messages about this, specific messages maybe. Maybe we can try and tease out what event is coming, or what paths are going to be coming your way. Maybe that'll help, because maybe you can't even see the path. All right, what can you say about this? Oh, decisions. Okay, the World again, and we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, and another Page of Wands. All right, beginning journeys. Oh, Dallas, do you really have to come walking through right now? You know what? You've been blessed by the black kitty. He wants to come hang out in the window. You're gonna have to move your tail though, bud. I mean, for real. Let's see here. Okay, so we have the Lovers. We have the World again. We have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands as a repeat. Okay. So again, decisions, right? Decisions. But the lovers can also, speak to relationships. I would probably say in your case that, how do I want to say this? I think it's, in this case, it's letting you know that there are pieces coming together in harmony. So if you're trying to make the choice, you're going to want to use this card as a suggestion to kind of look into your heart and discover which option gives you that magical feeling of completeness, of things just being right, just clicking, just that missing piece of the puzzle, right? Don't trust it unless you feel it. Aw, my little my candle went out. In terms of the world, and this is kind of a repeat message, and sometimes I take it as it's like, okay, well, we gave you the world to talk about, but you probably didn't, there's more to say about the world. And it's a 21, which is reduces to a 3. I just want to, throw that out there. And 3s are about expansion and growth, and I think that that's kind of, in a little bit, that's kind of where we're at right now with you, is a lot of expansion and growth. And pile 1 was going through this as well. If you've been striving and working hard to leave the stuff in the past, and the world card is very good news, because it doesn't mean that sooner or later success is going to be yours. Okay. So depending on the card, where it is, it's trying to reassure you that you are eventually going to get there. So if you are doubting yourself right now and really trying to kind of see your way forward, I think this is something that is just letting you know that this is going to be the completion of a very helpful cycle for you. I mean, this it's so much, this is such a cute card in the way where it's like, it's a triumph card, right? And there's nothing but good times ahead. You did it. Pat yourself on the back. Keep moving forward. That's kind of the overall energy of that card. Now, when we want to talk about the Page of Pentacles with this, the Page of Pentacles, his path is wide open, and he's prepared for kind of like new adventures, right? It could represent a younger person being your sole focus. And if you were in the middle of, say, like a messy divorce with like a custody battle or something like that, and you've made this your child your focus, do take this as a sign that everything's going to go absolutely smoothly. I don't know why I thought that, but we're just going to have to put it out there. But if you've been considering part of your path and moving forward as to be starting a new endeavor of like a business, or possibly considering a new career, please take this as a sign to go for it. Especially with the Page of Wands following it. And the Page of Wands, like we kind of talked about just a little bit ago, it's like, it could be intimidating to start a new path. But again, passion, inspiration is going to help you take that first step, and just giving yourself the boost that you've been kind of needing in terms of your self-esteem, right? Like going along this path and completing these little steps and succeeding in this journey is really going to set you on this really amazing road towards bigger and better things. But, with the Page of Wands as your energy right here, especially since it's coming up twice, it's, if you've been waiting for your sign to like follow that particular path, this is probably it. Again, pages can sometimes represent younger children as well. So if there's something like a child who's even like leaving the nest, or somebody who's coming into your life who's kind of maybe young at heart and just kind of taking you by the hand and being like, you know what, go for it. It sounds crazy, but you know what? Take that chance and that opportunity. It's going to lead you to a lot of success and happiness. Now with that, let's get some messages from your spirit guides and just see, how did a little, I don't know why that popped in there. That was in here. Interesting. Two of Wands. I don't know. Take that as it resonates. If it does, though, Two of Wands is kind of taking that leap. Let's see. All right. What can you say to pile 2? Anything else? Oh, yeah. Perfect. All right. Let's see. So we got, I am harmonious, I am patient, and I am positive. Oh, yes. And these are just very extremely abundant messages. So I'm going to read all these one at a time. And this goes, it's funny that you got this, and it's double confirmation that we're on the right track with this, with your reading, especially with this, number one, the world, kind of tens are about the ending and completion of cycles. So we're seeing that again with this 10-10. But also it says with the abundance card, same thing. Keep your thoughts positive and be patient as everything is working out for your highest good. Trust that your angels are working behind the scenes to help you. So that's the faith piece that we were talking about. 6-6, I am positive. Your guardian angel is teaching you the essence of unconditional love. You are encouraged to have faith that the universe will provide for you while you are manifesting your inner desires. That's very specific. I feel like that is a very specific message for most of you who were kind of thinking, you know, can I get an actual message from my angel or my spirit guide? And that is very direct and what they are trying to teach you. Like he just laid it all, he, she, whatever, just laid it all out on the table right there. And then 20, I am harmonious. You relate to others in an almost cosmic level. You are dedicated to building harmonious relationships of all kinds. You have the ability to persuade others to your point of view by using gentle means. Take that as it resonates as well, since that was one that I kind of just pulled out. But those are all the messages I have for you, Pile 2. This was a beautiful reading. I'm really looking forward to seeing you complete this cycle, this journey, because it sounds amazing. If you haven't already, please take a moment to like the video. Commenting down below is always fantastic. Definitely follow or subscribe, depending if you're watching this on Rumble or YouTube. But with that, that is all the messages I have. I hope to see you at your next reading. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey there, Pile 3. If you chose the Smoky Quartz Point, this cute little guy, this will be your reading for what you need to hear. So if you missed part of the intro, we are using the Soul's Journey for the main oracle. We will use the Rider-Waite for the tarot, and then get maybe a little clarification if we need it. So far we have with the Everyday Witch, and finish up with some angel oracle messages. Okay, so without further ado, we have Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. That's pretty straightforward when it comes to it. Something that you might want to consider in terms of this particular card is, you know, we're all a part of spirit and we're all the same. We're all on this earth together. It's only roles that we've, what do I want to say? Like chosen to play here on earth that makes us seem different. The biggest lesson that you have chosen is to learn to love, according to this particular oracle card. Each soul, you know, obviously has its own struggles, but our task is not to judge how someone goes about overcoming the obstacles, but to kind of assist in that soul's journey. So, you know, it's I think it's just kind of a reminder of the golden rule is, treating others as you would like to be treated, because everybody here in life is to teach you something about yourself. So accepting the lesson with love and understanding is kind of the overall theme with this. So if there's something that you've been kind of fighting against, I'm thinking that maybe this might be the message you're meant to receive. But let's get some clarification from the tarot. It might have to do a little bit with repeating cycles, and obviously repeating cycles is the universe's way of kind of hammering home a lesson you haven't learned yet. So what do we have to say about judgment? Go out. Obviously, if it flips, it was meant to be seen. Wow. That was not. There we go. Okay, I think I got it under control. Let's see. Okay, anything else? All right. Okay, very good. Here we go. Okay, we have the Temperance card. I'm going to take these out in the order that they came. So we have the King of Pentacles. We have Temperance. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Nine of Wands at the center, and we have number 10 of Cups, happily ever after. Always a wonderful card to receive. So what I'm looking at here basically is, and we're going to take a look at kind of what your recent past is based on some of these cards, and then as well as kind of what's in store for the current situation as it applies to this, if that makes any sense. So with the King of Pentacles and the Temperance card, the first thing that came to my mind was, the King of Pentacles being this very strong, focused, grounded in stability type role. And, the King of Pentacles is kind of, how do I want to say this? I'm never very good at my words. For some reason, writing things down is so much more creative to me. But the King of Pentacles is, a very successful person. They're very rooted in earth, in their own stability. And when I think of like earth elements, it's not just, the typical, it has to do with your stability. So your work, your home, your what you do on a daily basis, your level of prosperity. But the King of Pentacles is also somebody who has to strive to understand the good things in life, like, I don't know, the joy of having pets, if you're an animal person, or, indulging in some cake, a chocolate cake once in a while. But it's pretty much prosperity and abundance, but his strength comes from solely being rooted in his own success and the building up of the success of those around him. Because, as you lift someone up, we all rise is kind of the overall theme of that. The king can represent your own financial situation in this, or he can indicate a strong male figure who's in your recent past, who is willing to help you achieve this prosperity and security, whether it's on the job or at home. But something to consider is that the king card, it doesn't necessarily mean that it can't represent a woman. If this card, falls, you resonate more with this card and you are female, it more indicates that your focus is on success and money, and that's not a bad thing. But I think, especially with the Judgment card here and understanding your own path and challenges, is be careful to not let your desire for security or nice things kind of sweep you away. There's a lot more to life than just the pursuits of these things that, obviously we need for stability. And right now, as I record this, the world is at a very tumultuous time in terms, there's a lot of people struggling financially. So, while it is absolutely necessary to take care of you and yours, it can't overconsume you, I guess, is the warning here, and with the Temperance card here, I think that really speaks to the need for balance. And I think that's something that has possibly been missing in your life up to a certain point, or something that you have absolutely maybe been neglecting with and kept out of alignment with the King of Pentacles. You have this, you've achieved great success, and now you kind of don't know what to do with yourself because there's not much more higher to climb, right? And it's kind of, you may be at a crossroads with the Two of Swords here, in a fact that it's like, well, where do I go from here? What do I do? You know, I've accumulated all of this abundance and prosperity, and I have a really good, stable ground for myself, but you know, there's still something more that you're seeking, and you're not quite sure what it is. But all it feels like, all you know is to kind of put your nose to the grindstone and work. And I think that the message here is that while that's beautiful for your own particular path, this is not exactly the path that you need to stay on. Sometimes the path swivels to the right or to the left. It's not necessarily a straight road. And don't take this in any sort of way that you are going to lose your prosperity or abundance or your stability in any way. It's just that now may be a time for you to, now that you've built this solid foundation, now it might be time for you to kind of, I don't want to say let loose, but that's essentially what it is. It's like time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And I really do think that that's kind of why the Ten of Cups is here, is you have put in so much work. You've put in all this effort and work in terms of making yourself successful and making sure that you're not any sort of a burden on anybody else. You can absolutely take care of yourself, and you've done extraordinarily well. But if there's something that is still missing and you don't know which way to go, I think that what they're trying to tell you is that this next path is going to lead you down a different path, a little bit more opposite of what you have been kind of doing in the recent past. So if there's a reason why you're just feeling like you need a break, that's because you do. And while you've achieved a lot of success and financial happiness and stability for you and your family, or you and whoever it is that you're taking care of or caring about, there is another step that you need to take in terms of fulfilling your own heart's desires and things like that. So let's get a little bit more into, let's get just a few more cards from the Rider-Waite, and then we'll pop into the, my goodness, into the Everyday Witch. Can you tell us a little bit more about this new path of prosperity in terms of happiness? Okay, all right, I see you. Is there anything else you wanted to say about that? Yes, okay. We're good now? I get the sense, yes. Okay, the Ace of Cups. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's what we got going on. You got the Fool card. Okay. That absolutely is a new beginning, a new step, a new journey into the unknown. You have a decent amount of major arcana here, pile 3. We also have the Wheel of Fortune, which means that, you know, the tide is turning, the things are moving, the wheel is turning, and it's in your favor. It's been technically kind of in your favor the whole time, although it really feels like you, like I said, you had to put your nose to the grindstone and really work extraordinarily hard to bring about the success that you wanted to achieve in life. And that does make you feel very just like, oh, I'm so drained. I'm so done. Like, when can I stop? Well, this is a symbol to now stop. Okay. You have achieved and gone as far as you need to go in terms of your stability. The Wheel of Fortune and the Fool is definitely going to be here to actually make it so you take this next step. You take this new path. There is going to be a beautiful opportunity here, right here in front of you. I'm going to kind of arrange this so I can make sure everything is in place. This might be a love interest, but it is kind of like your cup. The Ace of Cups is an opportunity for just overwhelming happiness and abundance. It's your cup overflowing with happiness, with joy, with prosperity, with all the things that are emotionally good for you in this life. So whatever is coming out of this journey, this wheel is turning in your favor to bring about this new path, and it's going to lead you even into more happiness. So I do think that it's coming in quick. We do have the Eight of Wands here, and the Eight of Wands is a lot of speed. It's a lot of action. At the end of this is the King of Swords, and this very well might be, you know, the person that could be coming into your life at the kind of in the midst of this. And like I said, it could be a love interest or just a rekindling of a companionship, something like that. But, you know, the King of Swords is somebody who's wise. It's the voice of experience, very cool customer, all about logic and reason, you know, not really interested in fantasy and that sort of thing. But this person might be here to give you some very practical advice. And when they show up in the reading, typically, I kind of think that it's somebody who's not emotionally involved with you. Actually, it doesn't mean that you can't accept what this person is offering, and it might be this person offering it, or it might just be a person coming in to help guide you on this path, this newer path. And it might be that you are going to have to balance things out in terms of being practical, but also, you know, making sure that the logic and the practicality kind of suit you in terms of, like, you know, does it speak to your heart? Does it speak to what you want? And things of that nature. So whatever this new opportunity is coming in with this Ace of Cups, it's fabulous. It's a gift from the universe. There's no way to predict what form this gift is going to take because it's a cup card. It could involve emotions and spirit. But keep yourself open, you know, to the possibility. Don't let it slip past, because this lineup is an absolute blessing. It's something powerful is coming in, led by the Fool, the Wheel of the Fortune. Okay, I just couldn't even picture kind of a better trajectory for you right now. But I think with what am I trying to say here? The Eight of Wands, it tends to be a lot about, you know, movement, and it's very productive. It's definitely a new situation or things that are just getting off the floor, but it's starting to take hold. There's going to be this movement. Once you start this journey, it's going to move pretty swiftly, and that's a good sign that it's going to be going your way, actually. But if you feel like you're being swept up in these events, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Just kind of ask yourself what you need to do to make the best of whatever's happening, and that very well might be coming from the King of Swords energy about logic and practicality and that sort of thing, because new beginnings can be incredibly exciting and anything could happen, but it's also a good time to kind of figure out what you want and use that energy in your best favor, right? So let's get some advice. I don't know, pile three. Overall, this is an incredibly beautiful reading. I would love if you guys know what's happening or know exactly what this potential journey is. Comment down below, because I'm always so curious of what people are going through and what's happening. Seven of Cups. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm sorry, 6. I cannot count today. Okay. Very good. Okay, so we got some advice here. Okay, I do get the sense that the Eight of Swords is here. We're going to do the Two of Pentacles here. Yep, definitely. Oh, look at us. We got the King of Wands. You got the kings and kings and kings for days in this reading, don't you? And then we have the Six of Cups, of reclaiming happiness, reclaiming your former joy. It's nostalgia. It's such good, homey feelings. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's kind of start with the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords, a lot of people don't really like this card too much because it's kind of almost like a feeling of being trapped. But I do think that this speaks to kind of your recent past and how to make sure you don't fall into the same gotta get it, gotta have it, just work, 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 nothing else matters, got my blinders on kind of lifestyle that you may have had before. Getting so caught up in that situation that it ties yourself in knots, because this is going to be the new trajectory that you're on, and you're going to want to go back to your old way of living, probably because it's familiar to you. But ask yourself, is it really grounded in truth, or is it your own fear that keeps you bound and unable to move forward in a productive fashion? Because also when things start to take off and things start to move, it can be the pace can be a little bit frightening, right? So, the point of this card is to let you know that if you're starting to feel controlled, or if you're starting to feel trapped, or if you feel the need to put yourself in an old situation that no longer serves you, you really need to not let emotion overwhelm your ability to think clearly, again with the swords here and the King of Wands for that matter. Making sure that you can take a deep breath, kind of stop panicking for a moment. The solution's going to probably present itself, but it's an encouragement that you have all the answers. You are able to free yourself at any point. It's all free will. It's all your decision. Okay. So then we have the Two of Pentacles where this comes in, and the Two of Pentacles is very much a balancing act. And I think that we kind of saw that with Temperance a little bit as well. With it kind of, how do I want to say this? It's very much work and play, striving, resting. Everything has their time, everything has their place, and we all try to live a very balanced life, but it's really difficult. Obviously, right? All we can do is keep trying and doing our best in the face of, all these real world issues that we're constantly confronting. But when this card shows up, especially when we're looking for advice, it's to remind us that we need to focus more attention on balance. So I think the overall reading of this, a theme in this reading is about balance. It's okay to be a hard worker, but it's also important to give yourself rest. It's also important to enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? But it also could be an indication that you might be worrying too much about getting everything right all the time. You might be, I just got Scorpio energy like right off the bat there, but or even like a Virgo. Just everybody wants something like in their place, in the right place, at the right time. It has to make sense. People like my father, who likes to plan every aspect of the of the vacation with an itinerary. 12 p.m. we're going to go in the pool. 2 p.m. we're going to towel off and go to lunch. That sort of thing. It's like life in general doesn't have to be that constructed. And even if routines are your thing, that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that, so long as you learn to kind of go with the flow, because life around you doesn't believe or follow your itinerary. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here in terms of advice. Okay. So, and let's actually, pay a little bit of attention to this lovely King of Wands here, because he definitely has made an important appearance here. And in this guy, so this one right here is kind of like forging ahead with determination and making sure that you've taken charge of your own destiny, right? So in this card, it's super cute, but he's got this little map laid out, and he's got this little kitty with him, and he knows exactly where he's going and what he's going to do to get there. And what we were talking about, where if you're somebody who has a lot of routine plans, needs that itinerary, needs a lot of structure, that's absolutely fabulous. The King of Wands, it may be you, because they know what they want and they're absolutely determined to get it. Very active, passionate, driven. However, we all want to rule our own lives, and it requires a lot of compromise. Let's just say that. So who or what is controlling your life and dictating the way your future is going to unfold? It needs to be you. Are you helping yourself move it along, or are you hurting it? So again, or this reading is very much about balance. The king, don't hand over your power without a good reason. And that means even to your own self, right? To patterns and habits that no longer serve you or are counteractive to this new path, this new goal that you're going to be working on, okay? And then we have the lovely Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups, I just love this card to pieces, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, especially because it's so cute. It has the pictures of the little kids giving each other flowers, and it very much just gives me a feeling of like childhood happiness and that sort of things. But in this particular reading, I think that this is more along the lines of you paying it forward, because I think that this also, the Six of Cups also can represent a lot of kindness, of giving and not receiving anything in return. And it's something that can take one small gesture that can change somebody's bad day to being amazing. Just like, a bunch of little blessings, a bunch of little gifts kind of spread out. It's paying it forward. Those are the small, unexpected gestures that kind of put smiles on people's faces. And, I think that at the end of the day, with how much success, and we talked about this in the very, very beginning, if you remember, about being able to take what you have, your success, and being able to share it and share your knowledge and be that mentor, or somehow give back to life in the way that has been so prosperous or abundance for you. So, this trajectory, this new path that you might be on may be something that has a lot to do with charitable organizations, or that's going to give you a lot of happiness. And now that you're kind of set in your own stability, that sort of thing. So I think that now that we got the past, present, future nailed down, let's take a look at and see if we can get just a couple messages from your spirit guides in terms of I do think that you're going to be reclaiming the Six of Cups. I did talk about, reclaiming happiness, and it's kind of, like I said, going back to, simpler times and being a kid and that sort of thing. And I really think that that is in line with, it's funny that all of these are kind of in the row with the whole, maintaining balance and harmony in your life. And the fact that this is coming in very expeditiously, is going to be more fulfilling to you than you actually really know, which is really cool. So, okay. What do you have to say? Any particular messages that you want to say to pile 3? So far, every single pile has gotten 2, and that was it. They just wanted 2. Actually, I think pile 2 got 3. Aha. Okay. So we got 00. I am observant. Angels ask for your attention. Open your eyes, listen, and think about everything that is happening. Trust your intuition and follow their guidance without any delay. Focus inward through meditation and prayer. So that's a task that they have for you. And then we also have number 16, which is funny because I'm observant and I am perceptive are pretty much the same things. So I do kind of wonder that when we were kind of talking about getting involved with maybe charitable organizations or paying it forward, maybe you are going to be seeing a lot of need in areas where maybe you hadn't seen it before. Now that you're not so focused on kind of maintaining your own groundwork and your own stability, now maybe you can start noticing the lack that others have and being able to recognize that as an opportunity to pay it forward. So I don't know. I'm just trying to connect the dots for you. You have an inquisitive mind that allows you to uncover important truths. You have a special ability to read into other people's feelings. A wisdom seeker and your angels ask to share your knowledge for the benefit of others. I didn't even know what that said, and I kind of interpreted that. So, okay, let's just end that there. You got multiple confirmations, and we got a beautiful reading out of it for you, Pal 3. So, if you are the Smoky Quartz crew, this is beautiful. I appreciate you being here. If you could possibly pay it forward to me and actually consider liking this video, always consider, it always helps to subscribe or follow me since I'm on YouTube and Rumble now. But that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you at your next reading. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.